Have you ever been on an airplane and completely relaxed, not worried at all, and then just thought to yourself, what happens if this plane goes down and everybody is gonna die? Do I know how to survive? Well, you do now, ChavezzSlovakia. Literally from chills, it's horror, 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 and then how to survive an airplane crash. He dropped in December of last year, which is, fuck it, let's do it. Let's learn.
You're on a plane with friends and family,
right?
And suddenly a loud mechanical bang interrupts what you thought was going to be a smooth ride. The cabin's lights flicker rapidly and then go out, casting you in total darkness as the engine stalls. You're going down fast and need to think quickly. Here's what you can do to increase the odds of surviving the imminent crash. Number 5. Pre-flight preparations. Before you even get on the flight, make sure you 1. Don't fly first class.
Don't fly first class.
You're riding first class.
That's not hard.
You have already made a major mistake. Since the plane is most likely in a nosedive, sitting towards the front is actually the worst place to be. Sitting in the back, towards the tail, is the safest. No matter what row you are in, be sure to sit near an exit and sit on the inside, closest to the aisle, so you can escape the fastest. Number 2. Dress for a crash.
How the hell do you do that?
You should be dressed in non-baggy clothes that won't get snagged on branches and other objects in the wilderness once you get out. Likewise, your footwear should completely enclose the foot and have laces. If you wear anything that exposes your toes like sandals or certain high heels, then expect to get them cut or burnt off. Wear something made out of wool or cotton, as these materials are slightly less flammable. Anything made out of polyester or nylon tends to drip as it burns, resulting in some serious extra damage that you really don't want to experience.
Okay, I don't know what I expected from this video, but this is not the start that I thought I was gonna get. But hey, I mean, those are not bad tips. Things I would not consider. I'd like to know why,
and
but
3,
I'll take it.
Count the seats.
Okay.
When you first take off, count the number of seats between you and the exit. That way, if the cabin is filled with smoke and you can't see, you can still feel your way down the aisle, counting the number of seats you pass by hand until you find the row that you know has an exit. Number 4. Bracing for impact.
Okay, how do you brace for a...
Prepare your area. Everyone will be screaming and panicking all around you at this point, but you have to remain calm.
Right.
If there's a hole in the plane, you need to get your oxygen mask on within 15 seconds or less before you pass out.
15 seconds!
It's basically just a rubber band that wraps around the back of your head like goggles. So putting them on is easy. Handle your mask first, and then help others if they need assistance. If someone has already passed out, it's not too late. You can put an oxygen mask on them even while they are unconscious, and it can still save them. Now that your mask is on, put on your jacket next, zipping it up fully. Tie your shoes tighter than you ever have before so they won't fly off. Any loose items that can poke you need to be put away. If you have time, run to the bathroom and wet a piece of cloth. I'll explain why later.
How long
Step
do you
2,
think you're gonna
prepare your
have?
seatbelt. There's a right way to buckle for a crash.
How am I going to put on my mask that's at my seat and go to the bathroom and wet a paper towel?
And the wrong way. The wrong way is to buckle across your stomach. Your stomach is soft and will cause more damage to yourself this way. Instead, you want to buckle under your stomach, across your pelvis. Step 3. Assume a crash position. You need to keep your feet flat on the floor, with your knees sticking out farther than your feet. Basically, your legs should be as far under the seat as you can get them, while still remaining flat on the ground. This will keep you from breaking your shins. Now the plane is descending even faster than before, and you know the crash is near. Put one hand on the seat in front of you, and put your other hand over top the first. Put your forehead against your hands, and don't interlock your fingers because you'll break them. Keep your fingers spread. If the seat in front of you is too far to reach, then lean forward until your chest touches your thighs. Put your head between your knees.
Can anybody do that? Can anybody crouch down right now and put their chest to their knee in their seat with their feet firmly planted on the ground?
Place your wrists over the back of your legs and grab your ankles. This is the best position to protect your head and all of your vital organs from the impact. Now comes the hard part.
That looks fascinating, but I saw in Mythbusters once they were saying that if that thing is supposed to prepare you to die, right? Because there was a myth going around that plane crash, that stuff that they were doing in plane crashes was actually, dude, you have a 95% chance to survive a plane crash. That's fascinating. I don't blame them.
Number 3, surviving the crash. The first 90 seconds. The first minute and a half will basically decide whether you survive or not. Most lives are lost not from the impact, but from the ensuing smoke and fire that fills the cabin.
Yeah.
Step 1. How to protect yourself from smoke. Burning airplane components and fuel are
that's what the wet
extremely
cloth is
toxic. So be sure to cover your mouth and nose with your shirt or a piece of cloth. If you manage to wet the cloth before, good job. This will filter out the smoke. Even then, stay low as you crawl across the flaming bodies and wreckage to avoid the smoke. Step 2. How to find an exit.
The bodies.
Count the number of seats you pass until you come across the row with an exit. You need to get out as fast as possible, but you have to make sure the exit is safe to go through first. Look out the window to make sure there are no fires or other hazards.
Monsters!
If the exit is blocked, then you might need to find another exit directly across from the plane in another row. Move fast or perish. Step 3.
Run
Don't get
or
overwhelmed.
die.
Some people are so frightened after a crash they can't even get their seatbelt unbuckled. Don't be one of them. You have a very limited amount of time, so get unbuckled. Leave all of your belongings behind and get out of there fast. Step 4. Don't rescue others.
Don't?
I'm gonna be completely honest. The more people you try to save, the less likely anyone is going to survive. Carrying a person is hard work, and you might not be 100%, so concentrate on getting yourself to safety. Step 5. Get 500 feet away.
500 feet, exactly.
500 feet from the crash site to be considered safe. Anything within that range is subject to fire and explosions. Even if you are severely damaged, you need to keep moving. Number 2. Plane crashes at sea. If you know you are going to crash over the water, then put your life jacket on before you put on your air mask. Whatever you do, don't inflate the life jacket while still inside the plane. If you do, then you will find yourself pushed against the ceiling as the plane fills with water. Instead, swim out of the plane first before inflating it. As with plane crashes on land, you still need to get 500 feet away to be considered safe. If you are wearing a heavy material like wool, or if you find yourself becoming exhausted while swimming, remove your clothes and let them sink away. Wet clothes are very heavy and losing them will help you stay above water. Once you are out far enough, try to hold onto a piece of wreckage to stay afloat. If there's nothing to grab onto and the water is calm, then simply lie on your back. Stay like this until you are rescued or wash ashore somewhere.
That would be terrible. You guys remember that drowning simulator that we played? It is hard work if you're gonna drown, dude. It is difficult and quick.
Safety perimeter instead of floating will most likely just get you exhausted and make you drown. If the water is rough,
I don't know about that, dude.
You need to lie face down instead of face up. Then by laying on your back, because the water won't be rushing over your face, hold your breath for a while and then lift your head from the water to inhale. You can exhale while underwater. Using this strategy will help you stay afloat until help comes. Things become much easier if you are lucky enough to be on an airplane with a life raft. Aside from saving you the hassle of swimming, life rafts also attract fish. If you can somehow manage to grab one with your hands,
Bro, if you are out there for long enough to be hungry enough to fish, you're probably gonna die. That is awful. If like they can't find you for long enough that you've been thinking about
You can
fishing,
suck the liquid
you're
out of
finished,
their
bro.
flesh, eyes, and spine to stay hydrated. If you can't find any
that's
fish
so
or
deep.
rainwater to drink,
That is so
then
deep.
you have about 3 or 4 days at sea to be rescued before you succumb to the elements.
Don't
It's
drink
not
the
easy,
fucking.
but I know you can make it through this. Before we get to number 1,
It's not
my name
easy.
is
It's not easy, but I'm sure you can make it through being stuck at sea.
Don't move. After you get 500 feet away,
That's pretty good, dude. That's a pretty good video. Yeah, he really got into it too. There's a lot of things you can look up to surviving a plane crash. Let me look up. Let me see if I can do the Mythbusters one because I want to know about that. Killer brace. There we go. This is what it is. Killer brace position. We found it. Check this out. So there was a big myth that went on around a couple of years ago, and that was that safety position that the one Chills was talking about, that if you're gonna, you know, trying to survive a plane crash, that was actually built to kill you, so then the airlines could save money on insurance because they wouldn't have to take care of you after the plane crashed.
Guys, I got a good one. While flying this weekend, I actually heard a really interesting myth while I was reading my emergency safety card. The guy next to me claims, conspiracy theory style, that the brace positions that you have to get into on the commercial airlines when you're crashing into land or water are actually to kill you. It's so that when you're crashing, your neck will instantly break because it's actually cheaper to pay out for a wrongful death suit than years and years of rehabilitation.
That's a good one, Carrie.
Yeah, isn't that deep? But that was big. Like, I don't know how she didn't hear it, but I heard that from like everybody who was scared of flying, dude.
We'll get a crane and vertically drop it. All we have
So
to
they
get
tested
is
it.
35 feet per second.
But I don't remember how it ended, which is why I'm looking it up.
1 second, if we drop it for 1 second, we're gonna get some serious G-force. Hey, let's raise it up. Really bad.
Hey kids, I promised my mom I wouldn't do anything dumb and unsafe again.
Was that looks like you didn't keep your promise?
She lied.
Looks a little high, but I think you guys are in good shape.
It looks hot.
If it wasn't for that prior back injury and the insurance people.
Right.
Let's do it before I change my mind.
In 5, 4.
Look at it just drop you off of a crane. Oh.
I smashed my head into the seat. That felt terrible.
Oh.
My glasses are broken.
Oh God.
I banged my knee into the chair in front of me.
Yeah.
Oh, she okay?
It's alright.
Not too bad.
Oh, but yeah, I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay,
My
the good
shin's
news
kinda
is
hurt.
your seat absorbed
Ooh.
a huge amount of energy. I mean, it's collapsed here.
Really?
So that's a good sign because that energy would have been going into your spine.
The brace position
Wow.
kept all of us from having some type of head trauma because there's not a lot of holding
Oh.
yourself back with that kind of force, even with those like 3 or 4 G's or whatever we were pulling. We wouldn't.
Oh,
have
my
our heads
God.
back, so I'm glad we had our heads up back. The worst thing was banging into the seat in front of me, and that really made it clear why you don't want your legs, why you don't want your feet under the seat ahead of you.
The brace position definitely felt good. I felt like
Okay.
I took all of the energy and put it into the seat instead of my neck and head.
So it was like that initial punch hurt, but I mean, you know, I'd go higher.
So the myth that the brace position
Wow.
in an airline crash is designed to kill you, what did we get?
What were the final tally of numbers, Graham?
What we found was in the economy class that braced is definitely safer than unbraced. And the first class is safer still than economy class. Plausible, confirmed, or busted.
This one's totally busted.
So they said, and this is funny because they said even when they tested it that it's even safer in first class than it is in economy class. So when the guy was talking about, oh well, you're gonna die if you sit in the front, that seems like that's also a myth. It seems like first class is also just as safe because of the brace position is safer in first class than it is in economy class. So even if you're closer to the front of the crash, first of all, most plane crashes don't actually end in a nosedive. Right? So that part is not actually that true. Planes glide. Even if the engines go out, yeah, so planes don't nosedive when they crash. Generally, they glide. They don't fall straight down, right? They're still built to be aerodynamically sophisticated, I think is a good way to put it. And so it's kind of funny to think that he was just like, oh, well, they're just going to nosedive, so you don't want to be near the front. But that's not true. If they did that, then, well, everybody would be dead all the time. So that would that would definitely be bad, but that's not how it happens. So really, it just is all based on that, if that bracing position is going to save your life or not. And as long as the bracing position is safe, then you're going to be pretty safe. So I'll see you guys in the next one, ChavezzSlovakia. Peace.